All right, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Niger Youth Drive, the Delta State digital training of the Niger Youth Drive version. And I'm privileged to have you all on board this evening. I can see glowing participants here: David, John, God's Power, Tofumi, Jephthah, Mary, Camillus, Felix, Hamid, Jeffrey, Madam Penny, Anthony, Precious, Judith, and as many persons that will be joining us as well. So this project is funded by the IHS Nigeria Limited and implemented by OVL Foundation, Kratos Sustainability Consults Limited, as well as MTPEF. My name is Abayomi Okunola, and joining from NESA 84 Labs. All right, so permit me to share my screen as we proceed. You can see my screen, please make comments. If you can see my screen, please confirm, and please let's stay muted, okay? Except on certain cases or occasions where we deem fit. If you can see my screen, please drop a chat or just unmute and say you can see my screen. All right, thank you very much, Hamid. Thank you, Judith, for the thumbs up. Okay, so welcome to the Niger Youth Drive once more, the free digital and text skills training. So we'll be taking a look at data analysis with Python. Data analysis with Python. Okay. So how do we proceed further? So what is data analytics? Can anyone tell us what you understand by data analytics? Hello, the floor is open. Can anyone tell us? Hello. The floor is open. Let's unmute, tell us our names. Then we can proceed. All right, over to you, Frederick.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Well, my name is Frederick. Thank you very much for this class. So I believe it has to do with analyzing data, which more or less we believe are raw information into processed and understandable information.
Okay, all right, thank you. So that's to do with getting data, processing it to generate insights, information. All right, thank you very much. Who is going next? All right, so please note that this class is an open class whereby there are no wrong answers. We are all here to learn together. Okay? All right, so who is going again? Who is going for what? For us? Okay. I can see someone has unmuted. Tell us your name and tell us what you understand by data analytics.
My name is Jeffrey Kagbari.
Okay.
Data is a raw fact, collection of information, while analysis is the breaking of complex substance into smaller ones to gain a better understanding.
All right, thank you very much. I really love that. I really love that. Okay, so we'll be working with the two definitions now. Oh, sorry, I thought I muted her. So we'll be working with the two definitions now. So data has to do with, please stay muted, your background is kind of noisy. So data analytics has to do with the process of examining, cleaning, and transforming your data, okay, such that you are able to interpret the data and uncover useful insights for you to be able to make decisions and support strategic planning. Okay, so you can see here we have like a binoculars with someone checking through it, and you have some charts. You have the pie charts, you have the column charts at the bottom. Then you can see a line trend over here. So the data is actually not in this format. It might come in as tables in rows and columns. However, when you begin to work on it, such that you first examine it, you clean it, you put it in the right shape, you transform it, and then you begin to interpret it for you to be able to discover meaningful insights. And it doesn't stop at you getting insights, but you making decisions based on the insights you've obtained and use it to support the future plans you have ahead. Okay, so now why does data analytics matter? Why does it matter a whole lot? So we mentioned earlier on that it helps us to drive our business strategy. So in cases such that, oh, you can see, oh, I have a business, this is the rate at which the business is performing. That way you will be able to prepare for the future. Okay, so say for instance, you have a wares store. Okay, you sell wares. Okay, so during the holiday period, when students want to resume for the new term, many parents usually go to the market that time. That is when the market is being flooded. So at that point in time, when it closes, when you are getting nearer to resumption, what you need to do is you need to ensure that you stock up your store so as to ensure that your customers get the right products at that particular time, compared to other seasons when you know that, okay, there is not enough sales, much sales that way. So with the data you have on ground, you can be able to predict that, okay, at so time of the year or at so time of the day, that is when you have a peak sales based on the previously existing data. And with data analytics, you would be able to optimize processes. So say, for instance, you have a production line, you see that, okay, the time that it takes for it to move from one stage to another, having studied it over time, you can be able to incorporate more ideas such that you'll be able to limit that time. So, however, this really applies to our daily life as well. Okay, so for instance, I'm sure we all have an alert that pops up on our phone, for as many of us that know how to use it, that tells us, okay, over the course of the week, this is the amount of screen time that you've had. Might tell you, might break it down by apps, say YouTube, say WhatsApp, say your email, might be Instagram, Facebook, what have you on your device. So that way you can be like, oh, I've been spending so much time on these apps. What has been my gain? Okay, even for the data trend as well, you might be like, okay, so this is where I'm actually exhausting my data and not getting much yield. So that way you can be able to get applications that will limit your screen time on these apps. Okay, so that is very important. That way you are able to optimize your process, and then you are also able to identify trends and patterns. So like the mobile app we're talking about now, your screen time, you've seen, oh, at what particular time of the day do you spend more time on screen? Okay, using your mobile device. So that way you can be able to cut it down and say, oh, instead of spending 2 hours, you want to limit it down to 10 minutes or 30 minutes, as the case may be. And data analytics is used in every sector, name it, anywhere you go. We generate a lot of data, be it in the health sector, the finance, retail, entertainment, what have you, even in the education sector as well, we generate data. So it's very, very core that we understand data analytics and we've been able to draw out insights from it at the end of the day. So key definitions: data analytics is a broad discipline of analyzing data for insights, while data analysis, this is the actual process, the operation of you taking out time to inspect your data, you clean it, and you model it. You can see here we have inspect. So it's not that once you get your data, you just jump into it and you begin to work on the data. You need to first of all take a look at it. Oh, what is this data made of? What are the features I have? What are the rows I have? What are the values present in this particular data? Then from there, you begin to what? Clean it. So the stage of cleaning is, say for instance, now you have a gender feature, a gender column in your data. You know, gender ought to be what? Male or female. But in some cases, maybe while the person was trying to fill the form that was shared, they just wrote only M. Another person wrote MA. Another person wrote MAL. Likewise for female as well. Someone wrote F only. Another wrote FE, FEM. You see, that way you are having like 3 or 4 different values representing a value which is female, same as for male as well. So the process of you ensuring that you try to coordinate all together, I mean, convert the M to male, MA to male, MAL to male. That is the process of you cleaning the data. Okay, because garbage in, garbage out. If the data is not well cleaned, you wouldn't be able to get excellent results. And the stage of modeling the data is for you to see that, okay, this particular data, how can we make best of it? How can we get or define more insights from this previously existing data? So that is the data modeling stage. Then we move on to business intelligence. So business intelligence entails the technologies or the strategies you use to analyze the business information. So we have our tools for this. We have such as Power BI. I'm sure we are all conversant with Power BI made by Microsoft. So it's a tool being used for to analyze business information. And we also have what we call the dashboard. A dashboard is a visual display of your key metrics and trends. So also we have the reports as well. So I would say the report is like an extended version of the dashboard, because for the dashboard now, at a glance, you are able to see key metrics that you can actually base your decisions on. So for instance, you want to see trend of sales being made over the course of the week. So that visual, everything being put up together, is what you call the dashboard, but it's not as detailed as a report. Okay. Now moving on, we have the types of data analysis. All right. Okay. So let me just put it out that for those of us that are joining with our mobile number, let's try to rename. Okay, so we can be able to identify you going forward. Okay, I can see someone with 35036. So kindly rename. And do we have any questions before we proceed? Please, I need feedback. Hello. We are all here together. Let's unmute and communicate. Okay, no question, Amit. All right, thank you very much. Any question, Godspar?
No question, sir. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we have the types of data analysis. So we have the descriptive, the diagnostic, predictive, as well as prescriptive. Okay, so what are the types of questions that we need to ask when we are analyzing our data sets? questions include what happened. So you are trying to describe a particular scenario. Oh, from this data set, what actually happened? What actually transpired? And instances, you can say, oh, sales dropped by 10% in the month of July, or sales increased by 200% in July. Moving on is the diagnostic side now. Why did it happen? Why did sale drop, or why did sale increase? So you might give your reason. So because we actually ran more adverts, that was why sales had to what? Increase. Okay. Then for predictive, what is going to happen thereafter? An instance here is next month sales will likely increase, maybe due to trends or patterns you've studied over time. And for prescriptive, what should we do? What do we need to ensure that, oh, based on all these occurrences, based on this data we've analyzed, we've seen the descriptive aspect, the diagnostic, the predictive, what should we do to further enhance the operations? That's the next thing. That's the next phase. Okay. So what should we do? All right. So let's run a promotion and invest in ads. So depending on your stakeholders, depending on the type of data you have at hand, these are the type of questions you need to have at the back of your mind. Okay, what am I actually doing with this data? Is it that I want to find out loopholes that is not allowing the operations or the businesses to move forward? Okay, then you can see the reasons behind them, which is the diagnostic, and then what will happen going further. And then let's also prescribe what we should do next. Okay, so if you are able to answer this, then you are really, really good to go. Okay, now we have the data analysis problem. So there should be a problem, right, before a solution. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
No one is responding. All right, thank you. So how do we proceed with the data analysis process? Is that we need to first check, okay, check out the problem statement. What is the particular issue that is existing, or what's the challenge existing? Might be as a salesperson, might be in the finance sector, health sector, or whatever sector. What is the existing issue that needs to be solved? So once you have a good clarity about the problem, that is when you begin to work out solutions. That, okay, say for instance, let's say academic performance as an example right now. Okay, say there has been a decline in students' academic performance. You know, you would want to know that, oh, what is the reason why there is a decline? How many students actually passed out of the total student population? You know, you begin to generate questions. Then after you've generated those questions, then you proceed with data collection. You know, for instance, if you are taking a look at, say, Delta State right now, you might decide to just do a sampling of, say, government schools. Maybe you pick 5 in a particular local government, you pick another 5 schools in another local government, you collect data, academic data. Okay, then once you're done collecting the data, you need to what? You need to clean and transform it. Okay, so apparently at this stage of cleaning is when you spend more time, because you need to ensure it's well prepared, it's well formatted before you can proceed to bring out insights. Then once that is done, you begin your analysis. You begin to visualize it using your tools. Okay, so we'll be taking a look at Python, how you can use Python for data analysis as we move on, and as well as for Power BI in the upcoming sessions. So you visualize it, you model the data, and then you bring out some calculations. Okay, so for calculations right now, you might need to extract new features from the existing features. Okay, and then you share your insights. After you're done with the analysis, you share your insights in form of a report, a dashboard, and what have you, KPIs, metrics, and all. Then you share it with the stakeholders who then act on the findings you have gotten. Okay. Now we have types of data. We have the structured data. I'm sure we are all conversant with tables and rows. We are conversant with rows and columns, rather, in the likes of Excel. You know, when you launch your Excel, you see the columns labeled A, B, C, D downwards, and then you have the rows as well, from 1 up to over 1 million rows. Okay, so that is your structured data. It comes in Excel or SQL table. SQL is a structured query language. So when you are having data above 1 million rows, it's best you store it in SQL tables, okay, such that you can pick it from the database. Then we have the semi-structured data sets. This contains tags or markers, and it usually comes in notations. For instance, it might be a JavaScript object notation file, X markup language, your log files. So these are semi-structured data. But for this class, we'll be working with the structured data sets. Then we also have the unstructured data, which actually has no predefined formats. So it might come as an audio, it might come as a text, videos, images, and what have you. So, okay, so please note, 80% of the global data is actually unstructured. You know, day in, day out, we take pictures, we send voice notes, we send charts. Not that we are arranging the charts in rows and tables. I mean, we are not arranging them in tables. So majority of the data we generate these days are actually unstructured. Moving on, we have the basic data type. So this is very, very important. Data types. So for data types, we have the string or the text, and it's also called object, depending on the tool you are using. So these include your name, your IDs, and your category. Okay, so text. For instance, youth, that's a string, that's a text. Okay, then you have the next one, whole number, otherwise known as integer as well. These are whole numbers that do not have a decimal point. So when you have the likes of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,000, 2,000, that is a whole number or an integer. Moving on, we have decimal number, which is also known as floats. So they include sales values, ratios, your averages. For instance, you have 100.5034. You see, there is a decimal there. So that makes it a float. Then you also have the date or time. These are time intelligence, used for time intelligence calculations. Then we have the Boolean, which is your true or false, used for binary indications. And we also have a currency. And please note that your proper data type helps a lot. It goes a very, very long way when you are transforming your data, okay, as well as when you are doing your modeling. I think I need to show us something so as to tell us, so as to reiterate this very, very well, because it's very, very important. So say today is July 30. Just a second. I'm trying to launch Excel and see what we can do. All right, okay. So permit me to share my screen so I can show us this particular data formatting, because proper data typing ensures accurate transformations and data modeling. So let me share my entire screen now, or see if I can share a window. Okay. All right, so please confirm if you can see this window. Let me zoom in. So now please confirm. I need an audio response.
Yes, you can see.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right, so here I have all right, thank you. I have July 30, right? So let me just try what I did again. I said, okay, let me say yesterday was 29th of July, right? 2906/2025. So here, Excel is recognizing this as date format over here, right? However, if I should copy this and say, okay, I still have it here, it still recognizes it as a date. So if I should change this data type now to number, can you see what I have? I have 45837. That is date in numeric form starting from January 1, 1900. So data type is very, very important even as you proceed. So if I should change this number right now, or let me just type this number, say 45836. So this should give us July 28th. Okay, so this is a general number. Let me change it to short date. Can we see what we have now? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, can we see what we have right now?
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
data type.
Zoom it a little bit, please.
Okay. How about now?
You can do that from your side now.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay,
right.
sir.
All right. So
Thank you, sir.
proper data type is very, very important while you are working with data, because that would really, really go a long way. Okay. So let's continue with the class. All right, so we have some certain roles in the data ecosystem. We have the data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, as well as the machine learning engineer. Even we have analytics engineer and more roles springing up. Okay, so for a data analyst, their main focus is on reporting and visualizations, while for a data scientist, they actually work on building models so as to make future predictions on data. And for the data engineer, these are the team that ensures that data is stored in the right location and the process at which that data is being stored or extracted from the source is properly taken care of. So they deal with the data pipelines and architecture. While for a machine learning engineer, right now, after the data scientist has built models, the machine learning engineer will see that, okay, that model is functioning properly. Whenever you need it to respond to a particular call, you are able to get it per time and also to scale it based on need. Okay, so based on requirements, they ensure that all these are being done duly. Okay, so now moving on, we have our learning objectives. We'll be taking a look at programming with Python, the Pandas library, NumPy. Also take a look at visualization with Matplotlib and Seaborn. And we'll be making use of Google Colab. So for as many of us that might have Anaconda on our machines or Visual Studio Code, that's also welcome. But for this class, we'll be using Python and Google Colab. So that slide will be shared with us because we'll be updating it with resources so that we can always stay updated. Okay, so this is going to be the resources link for us. It will be shared after the call. Okay, so let's dive into a taste of Python programming this evening. All right, questions?
Okay.
Questions are welcome now. Hello, anyone with questions before we proceed?
Go ahead, sir.
I take that as a yes. All right, thank you. Okay, Frederick.
Hello.
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 Hello, we have.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Mr. Godwin Nasihabo.
Okay.
I want to ask that a layman like me, I don't really know much about data and all those things. What do you think I should benefit? Because I'm writing down now. What do you think I can benefit? How do I make use of the knowledge I'm going to have here today?
All right, sir. Okay. So if I may ask, sir, do you work with data, sir, Mr. Godwin?
No. I just use my phone, I browse and those things. I'm a pastor.
All right, sir. Okay. So as a pastor, you can actually use data. So say, for instance, when it comes to you taking attendance, for instance, you want to prepare for a program right now. You can take a look at the previous attendance and try to see, on certain days, you can try to see, okay, how many persons attend weekly services, how many persons attend Sunday services. So, because that is the data that you gather over time. So you might need to bring in a line chart and see, on Sundays, we have high number of persons in church. Okay, maybe it's on 4 Sundays when there's a special program. So that way you can be able to plan ahead for events. Okay, so that is just one out of many things you can use data analysis for, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Anyone with another question? All right, I believe we can proceed.
Last speaker.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Please tell us your name.
As a follow-up to the last speaker, I am an accountant in the church.
All right, ma'am.
The data analysis I want to learn is how to use it to look at my collections in the children's church, in the teenage church, in the adult church, on Saturdays, on weekdays, then looking at what I will be spending on these old church repairs and all those. I cannot plan. The next phase, when it should take place and all of that, apart from attendance. So I am looking for how do I make it faster and easier for me so I can have time to do an online job somewhere or so. So I don't need to spend 3 hours getting this data from my existing record. That's why I'm here.
All right, that's really, really fantastic. Okay, so for each and every one of us on the call, I would love us to have the end goal of why we are learning at heart. Okay, so we can bring that as well while we are doing the training. Okay, so we can just take a look at few case studies. Okay, so for, I think that was Anthony, right, that just finished speaking. So in terms of that right now, we need to gather your data, put it in on Excel. Okay, then once you have you can come up with a pivot chart. You can come up with several charts, such as the column charts, the line chart, to see the trend. So that way, even when you need to find out that, okay, on which date was there high collection rate. So with data analysis, you would be able to do that. Okay. So would be any other question before we proceed on? So let's all have the end goal in mind, what we intend to do, then we work towards that. That will be our personal project. All right, so let's drop our charts as well. So can I access these tools like Python, Power BI, and others with my smartphone, or must it be laptop? Okay, so for high interactivity, it is recommended that you use a PC. So for the classes, you can join the class with your mobile device to follow through, while for practical, it is best advised that you use a laptop. However, for the Python, there are some applications, but even for the Google Colab as well, you can check it out on your phone, but it will not be highly interactive. While for Power BI, we'll be working with the Power BI desktop. So you need to have it on your computer. Okay. Any other questions? So we move on. All right. Thank you very much, Frederick. Emmanuel, Olagunju, and Osatui. Any question?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. So
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh. No. What's happening?
All right, so let's proceed now.
What's happening?
So I want to start sharing my screen. All right, so earlier on I mentioned I'll be working with Google Colab, right? So what is Google Colab? Anyone has an idea? So here I'll come on Google search and search for Google Colab. All right, so I have my first result here. It says Google Colaboratory. Let me try and see if I can increase the font size so we can see more. Okay. So I have Google Colaboratory here. I'll click on the first result. So we are considering Python programming right now. We'll take a brief look at introduction to Python programming. It's a programming language and it's very, very easy. So we'll be using Google Colaboratory. So Colab is the cloud version of the Jupyter Notebook. It requires no setup, and you also have free access to computing resources, which include the GPUs and TPUs. So this is not to bore us now. We'll look into that later. And Colab is well suited for machine learning purpose, data science, as well as education. So I mentioned earlier that each and every one of us, we need to have a Google account. Okay, so I'm sure each and every one of us on the call has a Gmail account. So if you have a Gmail account, you automatically have a Google account, not to worry. So just go on the Google search and type Google Colab. Next thing I'll be doing now is I'll click on New Notebook. I want to open a new notebook. It's coming up. All right. So here we go. This is the Google Colaboratory environment, and it's actually linked to your Google Drive. Okay. Here you have the code cell where you write your codes and then you run it. So first thing first, you have the header here, which is the title. So I would name this Python for data analysis. And then today's date is 30th of July.
That's cool.
Okay, you can proceed with your question.
I said the training, is that what you are doing online? Sorry, I'm asking because I just joined.
Yes, this is the training that was shared on the group chat earlier. Welcome on board, Joseph.
Thank you. So please, which topic is it? Data analysis or which one are you treating?
Data analysis.
Okay. This one.
All right. So here we have Python for data analysis. I actually renamed the notebook here right now, and you can see it says all changes saved. It automatically saves to the cloud, Google Drive environment. So here we have the file menu. If you want to see where the file is located on your Google Drive, you click on this. If you want to open in playground mode, or if you want to open a new notebook in Google Drive, so we can always explore all the options listed here. In case you have a notebook you are working on in the background, you can as well upload that from your local machine and bring it up here. So actually, if I want to rename as well, I can click on rename. So you can see I have my cursor blinking here. So I can go ahead and proceed to rename my notebook. Then click on file again. If you want to move it maybe from one folder to another, or you want to move it to the trash folder, you can proceed here as well. If you want to save a copy on your drive, on GitHub Gist, or on GitHub as well, you can proceed to do that. So GitHub is an online repository that allows you to work with files. It has a whole lot of features to offer, such as continuous integration and continuous deployment. Use it for your pipelines. You use it for version control as well. Okay, so later time you can be learning a GitHub, Git and GitHub actually. Then if you want to save your file, you can see we have shortcuts here, Control+S. And if you want to save and pin a revision, Control+M and S. And if you want to take a look at the revision history, say for instance, you worked on the file today, you get back tomorrow, you did another work. In a week time, you want to check, oh, what has been the track history on this file? You can always look it through the revision history. And if you want to download the file, maybe as IPYNB, which is a Python kernel notebook, or you want to download it as a Python file .py. So this IPYNB is Jupyter Notebook, while .py stands for Python file. And in case you want to print, you can proceed with that here. Next is the edits. So you want to perform some technical operations, you want to edit, copy, paste, do some find and replace, check out your notebook settings, you can do that here. Then for view, if you have a table of contents, you want to check the info of your notebook, write some comments, hide it, minimize it, you want to review your code or share your output as well, you can always see them here. Then we have for the insert now, you can always insert your code cell. So if I should click on this, you can see I have another code cell being inserted. Insert, you want to insert a text cell, a section header, scratch code, a code snippets. Let's click on it. It begins to search out code snippets for you as well. So we are not working with this now. Then for your runtime, now, this is an online environment, okay? It's basically based in the cloud. So you need to run each cell one after the other, and there are resources being allocated for sessions, okay? So you might decide to say, okay, you want to run all your cells at a single time. You want to run a particular cell before, or you want to run after. Then take a look at the tools as well, the keyboard shortcuts, the command palette, the settings. So if you want to add a shortcut, Ctrl+Alt+M to write a comment, Ctrl+O to open a notebook, Ctrl+P to print. If you want to redo, Ctrl+Shift+Y, that is to redo cell action. If you want to restart your session, write a comment on the current line, Ctrl+//, a whole lot of stuff. And you can also set your shortcuts as well. Okay, so there is a lot to explore. And here you have the help menu. Have you got questions? You want to check release notes? Because from time to time, they do make updates on these resources. Okay, so on this side, we have the commands as well. In case you want to see the command palettes, how do you show your table of contents? How do you find and replace? It will actually show you your shortcuts such that you can be able to pick it up and then do a recall. Then you have your code. That is, if you want to create a new code cell, you can see I'm clicking on this code now. It's giving me more cells. And above here now, if I should click on text. So this text now is just like when I want to write my comments, I want to write my notes, such that, and for text, even when you run the cell, it doesn't see it as an executable. It doesn't see it as something to work on. Just read it like a comment. No work will be done on it. Okay, so that's the difference between a cell, a code cell, and a text cell. So your code cell is where you write your commands, then you process it, you give it to the computer to work on. While for the text cell, it's just a cell where you put in your comments. You want to make your work tidy, you write more details about it. Okay, and you can see this one has more options to format, put it in bold, italize it, add a link. You want to attach images, you want to add a block quote, you want to number it and all. Okay, so that is what you do with the text cell. So I'll be adding that to the top here right now. So let me add the text cell. So if you also hover over it, you can see text. So if I should double click, then I can proceed to write. Then the next one here is run all. This is your runtime. Do you want to run all the cells, or there are some certain cells you want to run? Then you can do that over here. Then coming towards the right hand here, we have the comments pane. Do you want to add a comment? Do you want to come up with some settings on your Google Colab? And Gemini is Google's AI. So it's also embedded here on Google Colab, but we wouldn't be working with it. And this is your account as well. Then if you want to connect now, if you want to connect to a hosted runtime, maybe you have a cloud resource that you've already subscribed to, so you can link it. And it also says connect to a local runtime. Maybe you have a setup on your local computer that you want to connect to, so you can always pick it up here. And that'll be all from this side. Have we got any questions?
Can I ask?
Yes, you can ask a question.
Okay. Sorry, to get this my Python, do I need to download it on Google Play Store?
All
Is
right,
there an
so
app on the site?
At present, we are working with a PC, so you do not need to download anything. All you just need to do is go to Google and type Google Colab. You need to have an existing Google account, which is your Gmail. So far you have a Gmail, you have a Google account. Okay, so once you click on it, then to show you, welcome to Google Colab. Do you want to create a new notebook? Then you click on new notebook. Then you'd have what we have on the screen. You have the setup.
Okay, Google Colab. Is it
Yes.
COOL?
COLAB, Google COLAB, Colab.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, so I'll drop the link in the chat as well. So for as many of us that are just joining, so we can pick it up from there. All right, Tomiwa says no question. All right, Tomiwa. Okay, so let's proceed now.
Let me see again. Like, what days are we going to be having the training?
All right, that will be communicated on the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so here we have the table of contents in case you want to add your sections, and when you want to do your find and replace, you want to find specific values. Then here, this is our code snippets. So we have snippets of codes running here. So we will not be using it. And then we also have what we call secrets. Okay, so secrets are environmental variables. It's just like they are basically the passwords. You don't want anyone to have access to it. So say for instance, you procure a subscription to use a cloud resource or an access to get data from a particular provider. Please and please do not expose your API key, because with that key they can do and undo. Okay, data is very sensitive. There are some certain kinds of data that must not be accessible to anyone. Okay, so the secret is like your password. So there is a place you save the secret, which is under this secrets area. It says configure your code by storing your environment variables, file paths, or keys. Value study are private, visible only to you and the notebooks that you select. Okay, so that's a secret for you. Then you have the file explorer. So under this file explorer now, you can see I have some sample data here on the Google runtime itself. I mean the Google Colab. I have some sample files here. You can see we have the JSON, we have the California housing data. So let me click on this README. You can see it's coming up here. It says this directory includes a few sample data sets to get you started. Then if I should click on this anscom.json, how many of us recall JSON earlier on? So this is the format it looks like. You can see embedded in a list, then it has dictionaries. So we'll soon get to learn what is a list and dictionary shortly. Okay, so slow and steady. All right, so let me share you the CSV file, which is comma separated value. You can open this with Excel. So comma separated value is coming up. So you can see it's being loaded in a table. Okay. All right, please let's stay muted, okay? All right, so next one is the refresh here, in case you want to refresh your file explorer. And another thing again is you can mount your Google Drive. Okay, so you can save your files on Google Drive, which is an online repository. Then you link it up to your Google Colab and you begin your file processing. Okay, so with all been said and done, let me close this. All right, so here I mentioned I wanted to create a text cell. So I'll just click on text cell. So it says double click or enter to edit. So I'll double click. Okay, so first thing first, I would say introduction to Python for data analysis. Okay, so what I wrote here, it's been rendered on the second half here. So if I decide to format this and say, okay, put it in bold, you can see this is also bolded as well. But I should say, all right, I want to toggle the heading. This is heading 1. You can see now we have it come up very big. That is, if I should say, okay, I want heading 2 right now, you can see it has reduced. So you can also format it yourself. 1 single H means heading 1, 2 means heading 2, 2H rather. Then when you have 3H, you have heading 3. Okay, so this evening we'll be considering a whole lot of things on our introduction to Python for data analysis. Let's use the numbers. I want to list items now. So this list item, I want to change it. We'll be considering variables and data types. Okay. Then the second item we'll be considering our control structures. Okay, let me write number 3. Next one is data structures. And before we move on, besides data structures, the fourth one here is we take a look at functions in Python. Okay, so I can just tab it. And number 5, take a look at file handling. Then we look at our NumPy and pandas libraries. Okay, so I've listed this item right now. So all I just need to do is run this cell. Okay, I can come up here and say run all. We can see this is the text cell itself. So I'll just say move cell down. So there are many ways to it. You can decide to just do Control Enter or Shift and Enter. Shift and Enter will bring you to the next cell. So I have this now, introduction to Python for data analysis. So even if I should run all now, I wouldn't get any error. But in case whereby I put it in this code cell now, let me copy this variables and all. So if I should run this, I will click on the play button here. You will see it's going to throw me an error. Can you see it says syntax error, invalid syntax. So that's the difference between the code cell and your text cell. Any question before we proceed?
I'm understanding it's no question for now.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so let me delete this. I have the delete cell here. You can use the shortcut Control M and D. Control M D. All right, so that cell is already gone. So now let's create another text. So we want to take a look at, I already copied that to memory, variables and data types. So let me highlight it and say it should be bold. Let me give it heading 2, or let's give it heading 3. Okay, Shift and Enter key. Variables and data types. So can anyone tell us what is a variable? What is a variable? Hello?
To my own understanding, variables
Your name,
is
please. Your
okay.
name,
My name
please,
is
and
Joseph.
then Joseph. Okay.
To my own understanding, variables is, maybe let me use another word, differs, maybe different things, different kinds.
Different kinds. Okay, another person wants to try. Who is going again? Let's communicate. Let's speak.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think variables are like containers that hold contents.
Okay, I love that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, containers that hold contents. Okay,
So for
say
instance,
for instance,
you can
we are with you.
Say age now. Age can be a variable. So age is the generic name for the ages that.
All right, age is the generic name. So age will be like the container, and then it will have a value, right? That would house inside it. It will be like a shield taking in a particular value. Am I right? Hello? I think that was Precious, or did we lost due to network? Hello?
So it holds.
I think you're having network issues. All right, so variables like she mentioned, let me use that. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so variables like she mentioned is like your container being used to reference a particular value. Okay, so she mentioned about age. You can say age equals to say 20. So age there is a what? Is a variable that is being used as a placeholder for what? The value 20. All right. Okay. So we'll be taking a look at our variables and data types. And recall earlier on, we took a look at the various types of data types we have. Let me see if I can share that once more. Okay, so can we see this? What can you see on my screen? Please make a comment. Hello.
Basic data type.
Basic data types. Okay, because we are working together. So I need to ensure that we are together as well. All right, so we have basic data types. We have our text. We have a whole number. We have a decimal number. We have date, booleans, and currency. So for this Python class, we'll be taking a look at a few of this. Okay. So moving on, you have your data types. So first thing first, your variable, like I mentioned, is a container. So age equals to 20. Okay. So here right now, variable is equivalent to age because it is used to store this value 20. Okay. Variable is age as it stores the value 20. Okay, so now let's take a look at data types now. Now, say for instance, we want to take a look at the string or object, like I mentioned earlier, as well as your text right now. So how do you structure this? Okay, your string, your alphabets, basically. Okay, so how do you structure it? So let's say name equals the early birds. Permit me to use your name. think I still have some early birds here. Frederick. Okay, so you can say name equals to Frederick. Now take note, I'm going to add quotation mark and type Frederick right now. Okay, so this shows that what it's a string, or it's an object, or is a text as well. And this actually work for a whole lot of things. Okay, so say for instance you want to take a look at location. You understand that this training is meant for those of us in Warri. So we create our inverted commas and our codes, and we say location is Delta. Okay, so now let me perform something. If I should come here and say name, note something, I'm here to run this particular cell where we defined our variables, or even for age itself as well. If I should run age now, you would see age gave me an error. It says what? Name error. Name. Age is not defined. Because of what? I am yet to run it into the memory of the programming language itself. So it's very, very important that you run your codes stepwise. That is from the top to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. That is very, very crucial, stepwise. Okay. Now let me run this age equals to 20 cell. Let me click on this play button. It says 0 second. Then let me run this. You can see age is returning what here now? Can someone confirm with a voice note by unmuting your mic? What do we have for age?
20.
20. All right, thank you. Because we've used age to be a what? Our container, and then is now giving us the value that is being stored inside it. All right, so also let me run for the cell for name and location. So I'm here to run this to memory. So let me just type location now. You'd see to also return an error. It says name error. Name location is not found. So let me run this memory. You can see a ticket, that means it has run. Then I would now run location now. And you can see it gave me that what? Location is what? Delta. Okay, because that was what I had here earlier on. Can we push on?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, so in case if there is anything that you have issues with, you can always speak, reach out, okay? Because we are working together. All right, so moving on, you can see how we define our variable. Then we've taken a look at string. So now let's do more. So here right now, let's say I have a age equals to, I decide to put my quotation mark and I say 30. Okay. I run the cell. Then I run the cell. So can anyone tell me the difference between this age and this age? Anyone on the call that can do that?
The first age is 20, while the second one is 30.
Okay. Any difference between this and this?
There's no difference, sir.
All right, so there is a difference. Okay. So
sorry, there is a difference.
Okay, so what's the difference?
The first one has no question mark, or what is it called, apostrophe. Why the
Okay.
second one has it?
All right. Thank you very much for able to pick that up. So the one that has the quote mark apostrophe, like you mentioned, is a string. Okay, this is a string, while this one is a what? Is an integer. So anytime you are writing your numbers, okay, and you don't add any quotation mark to it, so that means it is a number, a numeric. So if it doesn't have this quote, that means it's a number like this. However, if it has, it is a text or your string. Okay. All right. So I'm sure you might be wondering, oh, why do we have some words being highlighted in green, even in our first code block and our second code block? Has anyone thought of that? Please, we need your feedback.
Please come again with a question.
All right. So I mentioned that, has anyone thought of it that you have these words being colored in yellow? Recall when I ran this cell, I have age equals to 20, then I ran my age here, I still have 20. You know, earlier on, we were getting some errors that so items were not being defined, and a whole lot of them. So why do you think this code actually ran successfully?
No idea.
And you, okay, no idea. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So
I think
let me share
the
ideas.
color has a significant differential to make, because we are seeing is it yellow or green, then red. I think it has something to do with.
Okay, not behind.
Okay. All right. So another person. Hello. Oh, please stay muted if you are not making contributions. All right. Okay. So for this, there is what we call comments in programming. Okay. So what do comments actually do? Comments make our works easier. So a comment is an explanatory lines of code you add to your work, such that it explains the work to another person that picks it up. Okay, so you don't have to be on standby and they tell you, oh, this code, come and explain to us day in, day out. With comments will do the justice to tell them, okay, this is where you navigate to, this is the next thing you do. If you are using this function, this and this and these are the parameters that will be required. Okay, so that is why you see it here as well. It's been highlighted in green. And for you to write a comment, all you need to do is use a single hash, okay, or you use the docstring, which I'll be showing you on. Okay, so let me say I want to use a docstring now. Let me bring up a new code cell here and say I'm bringing all these guys here now. Okay. All right, so let me name this one name 1, location 1, and then age 1. So how do we do this one is called the single line. Single line comment, and then we now want to explore the multi-line comment. Okay, so please note that Python is case sensitive as well. Okay, So for our multi-line comments now, all I need to do is I'll create 3 inverted commas. Okay. So having created 3, I'll press my enter and then I'll create another 3 at the bottom here. Did you notice something? This still retains position like this. So if I should bring this, I'll cut it and bring it here. Can we see what happened now? We can see that what all these are grayed out in the wine color. Okay. So if I should run this now, you can see I'm only having a print here. And I say, okay, return age 1 for me. Can you see what he gave? He says what? Name error. Name age 1 is not defined because it has been commented. So let me ask us to choose a perfect one when it comes to dealing with inline comments. So let me create a new code cell and give you this. So I want to do inline comments for each and every one of them. You can see what I'm doing. I'm adding in hash. So instead of this one for single line and multi-line, which one would you prefer? The floor is open. Hello.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Okay. So I said we have a single line comment such that you write your line of code, your comment in a single line, and it's being represented with single hash. Then we have the multi-line comment. Multi-line comment, whereby you have your 3 inverted commas at the top, and then you have it at the bottom. Then you apply it based on the need. Okay, so this is multi-line comment, and then this is single line comment. Yeah, for this same item. So which would you go for? The single line or the multi-line comments? That's my question. Hello, I hope you got that.
Yes, I got it. It's just that
okay, so it's just like you. It's not so clear. Okay, so it will get clearer as we proceed. Okay, so this is just about comment. So comment helps to make your work fantastic. Like I mentioned, you do not need to be on ground every time they need to see something or learn something about your code. Okay. All right. So going back to our variables. Sir?
I want to say that the comment is a summary of the data.
Yes, the summary is an explanation of what you are trying to work on, not about the data right now. So say for instance now, we want to call age 1 right now. I just wrote age 1 here. So if someone wants to pick this notebook up, for him to have a good understanding, you can just say, okay, reference, or you can say, okay, print the output of the variable age 1 to screen. Okay, so now here I'm saying, oh, print the output of the variable age 1 to screen. You see, this is self-explanatory rather than me just having, let me run this. This one that we have here, we said print the output of the variable. Okay. Variable age 1 to screen. Then we call age 1. And me just writing age 1 only. Which would you go for out of these two? Is it the commented or the uncommented?
The commented.
The commented. Thank you very much. Why would you go for the commented? Hello.
The commented give a little detail preferred to the uncommented.
All right.
Okay,
so
commented
this is
express the code more better than the uncommented.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So this explains that while you are working on your codes, while you are writing codes, you need to implement comments from the very onset, because there might be times and seasons whereby you are working and you just decide to just take a stroll, just refresh yourself. And by the time you get back, you might have lost thought or track of what you were actually working on. But if you can go through the comments, that would help you to be able to gather yourself and continue to pace on with work. Okay, so let's move fast now. We have our variables. We've taken a look at the string and the object or the text. So now let's take a look at numeric values. Numeric values. So numeric values include integers. So numeric data type. So this includes your what? It includes, remember I mentioned integer or floats earlier on. Okay. So our numeric data type, an example is say, all right, so can someone tell us how many local governments does Delta State has? Hello? Sir? How many local government does Delta State has?
26.
26. Okay.
25. It's 25.
25, sorry, 25.
25.
All right, so now that we are commenting 25, is that the final answer? All right, so 25.
Yes, 25. 25.
Okay, so this is an integer, that is, or you can call it whole number. Okay, so in cases whereby you are having your cost of the good, for as many of us that visit all the malls, they will tell you something is sold for 109.99, right? So anyone that has your decimal to it will be your decimal number, or you call them your float. Okay, decimal number of floats. Those are the kinds of data types we have when it comes to numeric. Okay, so the floats can be 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place, 3 decimal place, so far that it has a full stop. Okay, so that makes it a what? A float. Okay, so moving on, let's take a look at the next one, which is our Boolean values. Boolean. So for Boolean values, you have it as true or false. So you can say is active equals to true. And then the next one will be not what? Active is equals to false. Okay. So we can see that for the true and false, they have a color. Right now, you are either having it as a blue on your screen. So I mean for true and false. If this is true, proceed with this, right? Otherwise, don't do it. Okay, so we are still moving on. I will take a look at that shortly. So for our data types, we've been able to look at the basic one, our text, numeric, and the Boolean value. Okay, so let's check now. The next one we are looking at is control structures. Control structures. So what are control structures? So let me pick this up. Variables and data types. Okay, heading 3. It's bold. So let me create a new text cell. Text cell. And the name of the second item we are exploring now is what? Control structures. All right, so let's go this and give it heading 3. So let's run it, shift and enter. So when it comes to control structures, this is what we use on a day-to-day. Okay, might not really occur to us. I'm sure you'd say, okay, maybe you want to send your brother an errand to the store to get you a particular type of juice or drink. Okay, you give him control. Like, okay, when you get there, if the biscuit is of a lesser amount than my budget, maybe you give the person 100 naira. If the biscuit is less than, say, 15 naira, then you tell them that what they should buy you a particular brand. Otherwise, if they do not find such, you tell them that they should just come home with your money, or you tell them to go to another location to go and buy that particular item. Okay, so that is what we call control structures. Okay. All right, so under control structures, you have your conditionals, and conditionals include your if-else statement. So conditionals or conditional statements. Okay, so under this conditional statement, we'll be taking a look at if, else, and elif statements. Okay, else if statements. So let's edit this. If, else, and else if statements. So that will all be exploring in this module. Okay. So I was giving an example earlier on. Let's paint a scenario to buy. Let's see if there is anyone that dropped a message on the chat, and so we can follow up. Just a point. Okay, no one is dropping any question. I want to, okay, maybe to buy biscuits. What say 100 naira. All right, so buy biscuits. Okay, buy biscuit if price is 100, else buy Zobo. Okay, else buy Zobo. That's what we want to look at. We want to look at this scenario. Okay, so how do we proceed from this? All right, so the first thing we need to do is we bring in our if statement. We would say if we're working with price, right? Price is equal to 100, right? Then we'll tell it to print biscuits. Okay, so but for instance, you can see my price here is showing like an underline. So I overdone it here. It says that what price is not defined. So let me take this to a new code block cell so we don't mess up the notebook. So let me bring this here. So let me dictate that, okay, price is 100. Let me run this to memory, then run this to memory. So you can see what you gave me. I said price is 100. And if price is 100, it should give out a result called biscuits. Print biscuits. So you would notice after writing this conditional statement, there was an indentation that occurred between here. You can give it 4 spaces. Okay. So that indentation is what make the conditional statement loop to work. Okay. So what we did earlier on was we declared our variable. We said, oh, price is 100. If price is equals to 100, print biscuit. So we want to take it a step further right now. We'd say, let me copy this, open a new code cell. So remember I was mentioning about our comment, declare variable, right? So here, write if statement. Okay, so here we would say if statement, you want to add an else, right? So let me just say if plus else statement. So I said here, if price is equal to 100, print what? Biscuit. Otherwise, so I want to bring in my else now. Else, right? Then I would indent, bring it down again. I would say print. We said it should print what? Zobo. Zobo, right? First thing first, you need to first of all change your value here. So I can bring it to the top of this and say declare variable price equals to, let's say 70 naira now. Okay, so let's see what this will give us. We are combining if and else now. This one worked because it was what? 100. So here we are saying our price is 70. If the price is 100, give us biscuit. Else, return Zobo. So let's play this and see what it gives us. Can we see what we have? We have Zobo. Correct? All right, so what function do we use to run a write up to memory? So, okay, so for you, when you are dealing with text cell, all you just need to do is just click on the arrow down button to go to the next cell. Okay, or you do press Shift and Enter key on your keyboard. All right, so any questions on this? Hello. If you're on the call, make a comment. I want to hear voices now. So, all right, thank you, Ajayi Peter, for thumbs up. You can see your hand is raised. You have a question. Okay, Frederick is giving a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So I want each and every one of us to unmute. Let's hear our voices. I know it might be tiring. Let's speak. Let's hear our voices before we proceed. Or just tell us what you've gained so far.
This last operation, Camilo Simbo speaking. This last operation, I see that it's a conditional statement, as in print biscuit if it's exactly 100 naira. If it is something else, print Zobo. So it makes it conditional. That's
yes,
what
it's a conditional statement.
Yes.
Yes, so apparently your conditionals include your if, else, or elif statements.
Okay.
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 All right, thank you. So we also want to hear other person's voices. Let's unmute, let's speak. Let's stand up from our seats, take a walk around. Yes, I understand it's late in the evening. We need to rest. We just wrapped up a program. Okay, why are we not muting our microphone? Let's hear our voices.
Hello, sir. It's Frederick.
Hello, Peter.
Yes, sir. Good evening. What is your
good evening? Who has got any questions? Let's take questions now before we move on again. Your question. Anyone with question? Okay, so I guess no more questions. Let's fire on then. All right, Ajayi Peter, you can speak.
Sir. Please, sir, what is the application of this structural and data analysis?
Structural data analysis.
Yes,
okay, so at present now we are taking a look at control structures in data analysis because you would surely need to make use of it. Okay, so I think Anthony raised the question, was trying to check, we want to monitor financial, maybe number of active persons in a particular unit right now, such that you can make announcements that you say, oh, you have an opening in a particular department and you want people to apply. So say, for instance, you have a benchmark for attendance for a particular service. Say, if you have, say, less than 50 persons, okay? If you have less than 50 persons in a particular class, you can classify it as maybe medium. If you have from 50 to like 100, you can classify it as maybe more, you know, like that. So with these conditional statements, with these control structures, you can do something of such that it helps you to classify. You just say, okay, if the value in this particular column is this, or it falls within this range, return this for me. So that way you would be able to group or bin your data sets for you to be able to generate more insights. Okay, is that clear? Hello, is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
All right, thank you. So the floor is open for us to ask questions. Okay, so we are here to interact together and learn together. All right, so let's move on right now. We've explored the if statement, we've explored the if and else statement. So let's do the if, else, and elif statements. Let me just copy this. If else, and then we want to bring in another elif statement. So that means we want to link up more than 2 requests right now. Okay. So how do we do this? Okay, so let's still continue with say, let's declare our price. Price is equals to 50. Okay, so let's say for instance, say Zobo is sold for 15 naira. Let me comment this. Say biscuit is sold for 100, and then what other item again can we call? Maybe water.
Bread.
Okay, chin bread. Let me call bread now. Bread is sold for say 200. Okay, so I can decide to bring in my price here and say, oh, my price is 50. So let's take a look at this. So let's say if the price, we can bring in greater than now, is greater than say 50 naira. Okay, is greater than 50 naira. What should they give us? It should return biscuits. Let's put that. Print biscuits. Now, the next one. This is where we use the elif now. Else if price is equals to 50, it should print Zobo. Let me just copy this. Right, then we have the next one, would say else print bread. We still need to review this flow. We still need to review this. Let's run this to memory. Now, here we said the price that we originally have here is what, 50. So you can see it returned. What is it called for us? It returned Zobo for us because price is actually what? 50. Okay, so but we should change this price to say 16 naira now. Can you see what it gave us? It gave us biscuits, right? Now let me bring in another nested elif here. Let's see. Let's see if price is 200. What should it print for us? It should print bread. So let me call this 200 now. Let's run this code cell. It's still okay. If this is equal to, let me call this 100. So if price is 100, print biscuits. Else if price is 50 naira, print Zobo. If price is 200, print bread. Else if print say nothing. Or let me call that chin, just like someone suggested earlier. So can we see what happened now? If price is 100, return biscuits. Or if price is 50 naira, print Zobo. If price equals to 200, print bread. Otherwise, print chin, chin. So I'm not going to be putting the value 50, 60 here. So let me put 10 naira here now as the price. Run to memory. Can we see what we have? We have what? Chin, chin. Is that clear? Or is someone taking chin, chin over there? Okay, no question from me. Okay, we have our Niger you drive on. Okay. Any comment, Niger you drive? Hello. No comment from Niger you drive. All right. Okay. All right, so moving on. So this is for the conditional statements that we've explored right now. Okay, so going on, we'll be taking a look at data structures. Okay, so what are data structures? This helps to make our work easier and faster. Okay, so before we do that, we'll still take a look at few more. We'll take a look at loops as a control structure before we go to data structure. So let's take a look at for loop. So what are for loops? So say for instance, you want to perform a particular operation and you don't want to be stressing yourself. That is when for loops come into place. Okay, so let me give you an instance. You want to print, say, Nigeria right now. Okay, you have a country equals what? Nigeria. So now if you need to bring out these values one after the others, what do you start doing? You start doing print, right? You open your bracket, you say print, and the next one, you say print again. What do you print next? You print I. You go again, you say up till you get to the final stage, print G. So let me just do a copy and paste. This is another thing, this is another thing. NIGE. This is E. Then I have my R. Then I have I and A. Okay, so now I want to print Nigeria, NIGERIA. So if I run this cell now, you can see I have Nigeria listed out. However, if I should tell you that there is a shortcut that helps you to print out all these letters in this variable below. So we will make use of what we call for loops. So how do for loops work? So for loop works by performing iterations. Iterations in the sense that, let's copy this country equals to Nigeria now. So it's been written in this way. You say for I, which is your value, the iterator you want to perform. So for I for value, the item, for I in this variable country, okay, you want it to print, let me not use I so it doesn't look confusing. Let me use letter now. For letter in country, you want it to print the letter. That means it's going to print letter N, letter I, letter G, letter E, R, I, and A for you. So let's run this. So can we see what we have? So instead of you having, so how many lines of code is this? This is 7 different lines of code. However, with a for loop, we've been able to compress it into 2 lines of code. So what does a for loop do once more? A for loop helps to iterate over the variable and it returns the result you want to obtain, just like we have here. Any questions? Hello? I requested that we should unmute our mic, we should speak. Only a few persons did that. That would also help you to stay engaged, okay, and exercise your body.
Hello, sir. Please, I'm not getting it right.
Okay, so I said we have what we call for loop for control structures. So here now we have our variable Nigeria. I mean variable country, where we said we want to check on Nigeria. So we want to print this Nigeria. We want it to give us each and every value, one after the other. So, you know, we started by writing it manually. Print this, print I, print G, print R, print I, print A. However, this is a tedious manner because, for instance, now say you have a long list or you have a long word. I need to start giving each and every value. You need to bring them out. This process, it's a very long way. Okay. However, with yes.
Okay, what we are trying to do now, we are trying to shorten it.
Yes, we are trying to shorten the process.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that, Israel. Did you join early? So just follow along. You can always check back and revisit. And also drop your comments, your concerns on the group chat so it can be attended to. Okay?
Okay.
So for this now, we said our variable is country. So we want to use a for loop to iterate. So use for loop to iterate over the variable. Okay, so that's what we have here. We said for letter in country, print the letter, and it started printing it one after the other. Okay, so let's take another one now. Let's say we have a state to be Delta. Because we need to declare it as a what? As a string. Delta. So I can use a for loop to extract the letters in this state. So what do? I would say for letter, you can represent this with any value actually. You can say for LE, for high in state, which is your already declared variable. You can now say print what? Print I. Then come and run this to memory. What do you have? You can see we have Delta listed therein. Okay. All right. So we've been able to see the introduction to data analysis, where we explored the types of data analysis we have. We took a look at variables and data types, as well as control structures, where we explored the if, else, and elif statements, as well as for loops. So do we have any question?
Please, sir, please, how come about there are for loops? Hello, sir.
I didn't get the question correctly, please.
The for loops, is it there on your own
Yes.
that you must use, or we can just create it we can create it on our own.
All right, so for for loop is actually embedded already. It has been created as a function. Okay. So all you need to do is just call it. You say for this I, this variable I, in this particular variable, then give me these results depending on what you want to do initially, specifically. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so I can see Precious is typing. Okay, Precious, let's have it. All right, in the for loop example, what do we call letter or I? All right, so when it comes to for loop, you can call it your iterator value. Okay, so that means you are trying to make iteration over a particular list also. Okay, so we are still going to be working with lists. That will be in our data structures. Okay. All right, hope that's cool, Precious.
Not really,
the
but
engagement.
probably with time I'll have a better understanding of it. So you said you explained in the variable, right? So country now is not the variable for Nigeria.
Yeah,
So
country is the
in that
variable.
for loop syntax, in the for loop syntax for letter in country, print letter. That word letter.
Okay.
You now say we can use any word. So I can use maybe for name in country, print in brackets name. What do I call that letter? What is it? Can I just use any name? Is there I don't know.
All right, so for that I or the letter now, like I mentioned, that's your iterator. Okay, you can call it your iterator or your loop variable. Okay, you can call it any way name you want. Okay.
Okay.
But you
What's
must not
an
have declared it.
iterator? Sorry.
What's an iterator?
Yes.
All right. So take for instance, you want to look at a particular long list right now. Okay. Are you with me? So an iterator
Yeah, I'm with
is
you.
just like let me call it a variable right now, or an object that retains its own state. It doesn't change at all. So it will just be like a constant. So say for instance, you want to go from, now we are looking through the loop for Delta state here right now. So this I will retain its state. I mean, it will retain its properties and not change. All you just have to do is just like passing through it, and then gives you a result. It will pass through it again, give you another result, pass through it, give you another result. Okay, so it's not something that just like our variable right now, state has already been defined as state. While for an iterator right now, it doesn't have a particular property is going to hold on to. Okay, do you get that, or we should still proceed further?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, we are still in data control. Yeah, where we have is data structures. I can see the engagement has dropped off. Should we still proceed? We still have like 20 minutes more, so we still have this time to ask questions. Or if you want me to go back, just do a brush up, just let me know.
Excuse me,
Okay,
sir.
Tomiwa says let's proceed. Okay, peace.
Sorry, could you please go back to that and where you were talking of variables and data types? I was kind of lost on that part.
Okay, so for that, let me just do a brief recap. So variables, someone mentioned to us that it's just like a container. You use it to store your values. Okay, so we said age equals to 20. That's a variable. Okay. Then for our data types, we mentioned we have the string, we have the numbers, you also have your Boolean value. So for your string, how do you differentiate your string? Right now, your string would have these quotes or the inverted comma. For instance, you can see age here is 20. That means it's a number. But over here, age is equals to, you can see 30 in quotes. That means it's a text or a string. Okay. Then we have our comments, multi-line comments, and single line. And we mentioned that comments are very, very important in our work. Okay. All right. Okay, so I believe that's it. So let's check on data structures. We take a look at list, then we call it an evening. So let me write the code. Let me do text now. So data structure, bold, heading 3, run it in. Okay, so for data structures, we'll be taking a look at one. We'll take a look at list. And then number 2, take a look at dictionaries. And then we'll also look at tuples and set. Okay, so what is a list? What is a list in Python? Can anyone share with us? Can anyone share with us what is a list? Hello. Okay, I think since we have a low response, maybe we should just pick up from here in the next class. So the schedule will be communicated with us on the group chat. Let's stay attentive. Okay.
All right, sir.
So any question before we call it an evening?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Tell us your name, where you're joining from. Proceed with your question.
Okay. My name is Gospa. It's not like a question, but I think kind of contribution. Should I call it like that?
Okay.
I'd like you to kind of give a comment on the item, because from the very start, I've gotten that I can be able to access the Python app by searching for Google Colab. Then everything you'll be doing, I'll be able to do them from there. But since I searched and enter into Google Colab, I've been trying to insert these commands that you've been putting. I've not been able to get it clearly. So I don't know if you can be able to do a comment on that. Instead of I should follow. Yes.
All right. Okay, so are you using a mobile device or you are using your PC?
I'm using my mobile device.
All right.
And
okay, so like I mentioned earlier, these platforms are not mobile friendly. So you need to use a PC. Okay. For you to be able to enjoy it for mobile friendliness, you need to use a PC. It's not mobile friendly at all. So you need to use a web version. Okay.
All right.
Hope that solves that.
Yeah, I'll get my pieces soon. So I'll be able
All
to
right.
go through it.
Okay, so you can always check through these sessions. All right, any other question before we call it an evening?
Good evening, sir. Is there a record of this
Good
class?
evening. Sir?
Is there a record of the class?
Yes. That will be communicated with us.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, so any other questions? Okay, so if no other question, thank you all once more for joining. It's a pleasure to have you on board. I remain Abayomi Okunola, joining from NISA IT4 Labs. A very big thank you to IHS Nigeria Limited, OVL Foundation, Ratos Sustainability Consult, MOTPEF, and everyone for this.